Quaid Azam, Part 368. Islam and the Nation Concept. The late Girilal Jain, in a very learned and elegantly written dissertation entitled The Hindu Phenomenon, has given expression to his thoughts. Some Muslim scholars, he writes, have questioned the validity of the concept of Islamic State as distinct from Muslim State. The first being an ideological proposition which has never materialized in Muslim history, because no Muslim state has ever been theocratic, and the second being a fact of history in the past 1300 years. It would be recalled that the possibility and the desirability of an Islamic state, that is, a state based on the Quran and Hadith, had become a major issue of the worldwide debate in view of the triumph of Khomeini led revolution in Iran, 1979. In terms of facts, all this is irrefutable. The power struggles in the Muslim world has been as violent, unprincipled than anywhere else in the world. Muslim rulers have, as a rule, been a pleasing, loving, self-seeking as their counterparts elsewhere. But these facts need to be placed in the proper perspective. This cannot be done unless we grasp the central point that Islamic society, as Guy Eaton has put it in Islam, the destiny of man is theocentric and not theocratic. The distinction is important, and it is truly extraordinary that it has been missed in the most of the writings on Islam. The centrality of the state in human affairs is modern development. Traditional societies regarded the state as no more than a necessary evil. Since large societies could no longer be managed on the old tribal basis, in case of Hindus, this proposition is widely accepted despite these theories of modern apologies have propagated. In the past 1 century, it is generally accepted that as a self regulating community, the Hindus have not been unduly dependent on the state, and indeed that they have managed to preserve the identity under the prolonged foreign rule on that strength. To return to the question of this distinction between the theocentrism and theocracy, it should scarcely be necessary to define theocentrism. However, it has become necessary to do so in view of the confusion that prevails. So it needs to be emphasized that for the Muslims, all sovereignty rests in God, and that indeed nothing whatever exists or can exist outside of Him. It follows that God is the sole legislator. To quote Guy Eaton, again, the Quranic insistence that there is no God but God can be interpreted to mean that there is no legislator but the legislator. That is precisely why the Muslims, their laws have to be derived from the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet, and they have been so derived in the past 14 centuries. That is what has given the Ummah the unity it has possessed despite all the political turmoils it has passed through. That would explain why jurisprudence and not theology has been the main preoccupation of Islamic scholarship. The central issue, therefore, in Islam has not been whether the state can be separated from religion, but whether the society can be separated from religion. It is because the answer to the second has to be firmly in the negative, that the answer to the first has also to be in the negative. In posing the first question, whether the state can be separated from religion without simultaneously posing the second, whether society can also be separated from religion, scholars have to use this old cliche, sought to put the cart before the horse. The modern mind just cannot comprehend Islam precisely because it is a totality. Islamic society is rooted in the religion of Islam. It is not the other way about. The point needs to be heavily understood that Islamic society is wholly unlike Christian societies in terms of which it is judged.